Well, welcome to our annual Pumpkin Spice Rally. This is our big end-of-year road rally for Out Motorsports, the channel for cars as you are. My name is Jake, and I'm here with 125 of my best friends in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. And behind me is one of our drivers' old E30 BMW 3 Series. And those cars have evolved over the years, and we're here now with a whole bunch of people driving a whole bunch of things, and we got a bunch of auto manufacturers to give us cars to use to lead our different drive groups, and BMW was one of them. So we have a brand new variant of 3 Series, if you will. They split those out, and the two doors are now the 4 Series, and we've got this. This is the 2024 BMW M4. This is the go-fast version of the 4 Series two-door coupe and convertible, and this one is mighty pink. This is the Pink Horse Pony Club, if you will. This one is a BMW individual car that is painted Ruby Star Neo, which is actually a Porsche color, but BMW will let you do that, and this one is a cool car. It is Ruby Star Neo, it is got a white interior, it is rear-wheel drive, and it has a 6-speed manual transmission. So we're here, we're gonna get a group of about 12 other cars behind me and see how this thing is to drive while exploring about 3 hours of some of Pennsylvania's finest back roads. All right, so let's talk about this M4, but first we're gonna talk about the Pumpkin Spice Rally just a little bit. This is the 5th one that we have done as a group, 3rd that has been through Out Motorsports here, the bigger group that we've finally put together, and this is the biggest event we've ever hosted. We've got 125 people with 80 cars, all here to enjoy the foliage, the changing leaves, the back roads, the camaraderie, the cars, all of it. So super, super fun, so appreciative of everyone that's helped make this thing happen, including these automakers that were able to send us cars and assemble kind of this rainbow of a fleet. It's been really, really cool. So anyway, speaking of a rainbow, this Ruby Star Neo is an individual color on the M4, and it's a Porsche color that BMW was somehow able to use and sell. I dig the color so much. I'm biased because it's the color of my race car, which is an E36 3 Series, and I think it's just fabulous, and I love it with the white seats. It's a really handsome color combo, and I give BMW a lot of kudos for offering this, and obviously you pay a lot of extra money to do an individual order, but still, they have other standard colors that are pretty great as well, so kudos for that. Now, as far as the car itself, I have a lot of time driving 3 Series and M3s in particular, and this is effectively a two-door M3. They're just calling it the M4 now, and you know, the car's grown up since the E30, E36 days, and even the E46 days. The last one I owned was an E46 M3 convertible. It was just lovely. And that car was starting to have this trend of driving a little bigger, feeling a little bigger. At this point, these cars feel big. And this is my first time driving this generation of 3 Series, 4 Series at all, but it feels big. It is still down to clown. It's still here to party, but you know, if you're looking for something that evokes more the spirit of like the E36, the E46, I think the M2 is more the car you're looking for. So just an interesting thought there. But for being as big as this is, it is still pretty lovely, and I love that they gave me this one with a manual transmission. It really, you know, it makes the car worse on paper. It is slower on paper because you don't have that ZF 8-speed that is so fabulous in everything now, nor do you have a DCT, which they used to offer on the older ones. It is a good manual. It's pretty typical BMW in that it's still got a little bit of that rubbery charm that we love so much, but it's precise. The clutch is light, easy to deal with. I caught some pretty heavy traffic on the way here from a car crash that we had to pass, and it was annoying, as any manual would be, but it was not fatiguing to my left leg, so that was good. It's easy take up. It's a nice manual setup, despite kind of feeling like the car was built for the 2-pedal option. I'm really glad they're offering it for the purists like myself who just would prefer this if we can still get it. So I do appreciate that. Now, this engine is interesting. This is the S58. I own a Toyota Supra that has the BMW B58 in it, and a lot of other BMWs have that. That's the inline 6-cylinder that is not the motorsport version, and this is, you know, the kind of cracked out version here. And this, by comparison, my B58, nice and torquey down low, still loves to rev, doesn't go quite so nutso as this, but it's easier like around town and at lower speeds. This at lower revs doesn't feel especially high horsepower, but as the revs climb, you get to 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, it's just a sweetheart. Sounds good, and it just rips. It feels good. And it revs right up to the red line, which is like 7,500 RPM. It feels good doing it. It sounds good. It could be a little louder outside the car, but in the car, it sounds nice. Now, I'm in the full M2, all the way hyped up mode, and that means the suspension is at full stiff, the exhaust is at full loud, the steering is at its full stiffness and weight, all that good stuff. And yeah, exhaust sound good. Suspension-wise, we're on really perfect roads right here. This is really fantastic for compliance, body control, all that good stuff when the roads are really good. When the roads are less good, we've had a couple roads here that were not so hot. Obviously, you want to take it out of the stiffest suspension setting. That's a no-brainer, but even on the comfort setting, it's still a stiffer car. It's still an M car, and I kind of appreciate the fact that it's not like full-on 90s Cadillac DeVille squishiness, because that's not the point of the car. So I'm good with the suspension setup in general. Now, what's interesting, this one is a rear-wheel drive car, like I mentioned earlier, and I, again, love that they spec'd rear drive manual. Like, this is the purest model, and it's really cool. With this power, the way this builds power, all that, it won't get away from you, but you can feel it get a little squirmy if you really roll on the power exiting a turn, you know, as high horsepower rear-wheel drive cars kind of do. And it gives it some character. The whole thing is this car has character versus the one that's the fastest. If you get the all-wheel drive competition version of this with two pedals, it is going to be better on paper, but oftentimes the better on paper models are less fun because they're more clinical. This is imperfect in a really cool way, and I dig it. So suspension-wise, yeah, good body control. You know, it feels easy, as you expect of an M3, M4. There's kind of, you know, whatever you ask of it, it's going to do, and it's going to be pretty happy doing it. Now, steering is the one thing that I don't love. It does weight up a little bit when you really push, but I think the steering, the weight is a little too light for me. It offers good feedback. I know exactly where the wheels are, and that is really, really nice. Great feedback coming through. But the actual weight and effort that it takes, to me, could be a touch heavier. And it's a personal preference thing, but that's my least favorite part of the car from a driving experience standpoint. Other thing with the steering is the steering wheel, which is Alcantara. That's, you know, a love it or hate it sort of thing. Some people are big fans or big haters, but it's very thick. And, you know, when we talk about the steering wheels, it's a very personal preference, I think, on the girthiness of your steering wheel, but this is just a touch too much for me. My Supra, by comparison, is too spindly, it's too thin, but I would take like 3 spaghetti noodles of thickness out of, and I think it would be perfect. It's just a touch too big, and I think I have fairly large hands, and even then I'm just like, I don't know about this. And then as far as stopping, obviously we're not doing it right now, but the pedal feel is what you would expect. It's got good initial bite. It is predictable, good feel, good consistency throughout the pedal travel as you work the brakes harder and harder. It's got plenty of brake on it, to be totally honest. So in that regard, feels really, really good. And so overall, as a package here, I think this is a nice package as a driver's car. It's a nice throwback for the sake of, you know, what the M3 and the M4 used to be, especially when you go back multiple generations of M3 here. It's cool. It's still good to drive. Is it the spiritual successor of something like an E36? Not really. Like I said earlier, I think that's actually going to be the M2. But I love that they're doing it. I love that, you know, everything has to grow up, and frankly, this is now a 3 Series or a 4 Series. I need to get myself past the naming thing. This is a 4 Series that you can put real humans in the back seat of. If you tried that with an E36 and E46, I hope it's friends that you don't like, because you're not going to have them by the time you're done with your journey. So in that case, it certainly does. It does help some things, and I like that they offer the smaller car too, if that's more your preference. And again, here it just sounds good. It's easy. it's an easy car to drive quickly, which is kind of the BMW thing for me. And I want to talk about the BMW thing for me because this is a very special car to me on a personal level for reasons that may or may not make sense here. But when Tyler and I started this whole Out Motorsports thing, we were so excited about the possibility as we started reviewing cars of one day maybe we'll get BMW's attention, and one day maybe they'll loan us a modern equivalent of the cars we compete in. And since he and I met, we've been competing on racetracks, at autocross, you know, you name it, in E36s, and we still have them. And it's been a really long time. And you know, BMW does not work with just anyone. A lot of these brands don't. You have to really prove yourselves, and it took us a while, but BMW is clearly on board. They've supported us quite a bit with this event, and they're giving us some cars here and there to review finally too, which is great. But I have been fortunate enough to drive a lot of cars from other brands that are more expensive than this, that are more high performance, more luxurious, more whatever. And for whatever reason, getting a new M3, this is, like I said, effectively a two-door M3, we're gonna roll with that for now, that has always been kind of my white whale that I've been chasing. And I feel so fortunate that we finally did it. I'm so gagged by this, and the fact that this one is the same color as my race car and is, you know, rear drive manual, it's kind of the way I would spec one if I were to buy one. And I can't quite get over the fact that we finally did it. And we did it is not the two of us who get to review stuff on this channel, and we who did it is not everyone who comes to our events in person. It's also everybody who has watched our videos, who has shared our videos, who has liked, commented, followed on social media, told their friends about everything. We collectively have grown this channel from nothing to something, and I finally got my white whale, or in this case, my hot pink whale. So if you have watched literally anything on this channel, or supported us in some way, or come to an event, or whatever, thank you. I'm filming this one day after National Coming Out Day. This is a community that I never thought I would have, that now we have, that means a lot to a lot of people, and I just feel so fortunate. And this pink BMW M4 is the absolute cherry on top. So thank you very, very much, and we'll see you for the next one.